Yeah, right now the firefighters in Polk County continue to battle a brush fire that's gotten out of hand here near some homes in Indian Lake Estates. Our reporter Paul Amison up in Eagle 8 HD. Paul, you're closer and we see the flames now.
Yeah, Keith, you can definitely see the flames. We saw flames shooting up into the trees, and here's the problem. This is one of many houses in this area, and you can see the house is surrounded by smoke. Now, if I move over to the right, here's the fire coming in, and you can see this thing is burning hot. It's burning up into the trees. It's flaming up all the way through. And here, I'm going to show you something else, because not only is that house close, as I pan down this and pull out wide, this whole line of fire is moving that way. Everything is moving towards the houses, and we can't even see all of this because the smoke is so black and the flames are so high. We can't see past that, and there are houses back in there. This is under a mandatory evacuation in Indian Lake Estates. It's burning completely out of control. Firefighters are here. Red Cross has opened up shelters, but right now you can't even see into the smoke. It's burning so thick, and houses are all around it. Here's another plume of fire just burning up, and as I move over here, you can see just how hot this fire is. And again, anytime I try to pull out to show you the homes, the one home we were looking at earlier, you can't see now because it's underneath all that smoke. And earlier when we were looking, we could see houses dangerously close to this fire. This fire is burning completely out of control. This is one of the bigger fires that I have seen, especially in this area. So I'll throw it back to you, Keith. And again, these pictures are incredible up here.
Yeah, Stacy and I are both watching this, and there's a lot to take in here, Stacy.
Yeah, Paul, I was wondering, just to give people a feel who don't live in that Polk County area, what else is Indian Lakes Estates near?
Where Indian Lakes Estates is, if you know where Lake Wales is, where the Bach Tower is, we're east of that and a little bit south, kind of near Frostproof in that area. So we're out in Polk County off of 60, but we're pretty far east.
Well, we're gonna
definitely. This is not a hugely populated area, but this has a lot of homes in here. People move out here because they want to live in the wooded area. And I'm gonna pull out wide and show you just how big this fire you can see the beginning of the fire, and if you look down at the bottom of the screen, you see orange. That's all flame. And I can pan all the way over this way, and the flames continue, and you can see right in the path, there are a lot of houses down here. Here are the firefighters and sheriffs set up, but this is really burning, and it's nowhere near under control.
Yeah, we've heard that they've blocked off the roads in that area and encourage people to stay away. And normally, Paul, when you go to these scenes like this, you'll see a backfire set to kind of control it, get a fire line, but this looks like a fire line that's creating its own path. It is moving quickly. It's burning into the trees. We've seen the firefighters working nonstop for about, I would say, 4 weeks now. Adam Putnam's putting out, warnings for people to get out of Collier County. We were talking about the fire burning there. But this one here has taken on a whole new range of just concern for everyone involved. These are homes, and as you say, when the smoke gets black, when it gets dark, when you can't see into the woods like this, you have to assume that there are structures burning. And in fact, the fire department has told us property has burned. How much, we don't know. Hopefully, there are no injuries related to this.
Do you have any idea how many homes, Paul, are in that Indian Lakes Estates area right there? Is that a pretty big subdivision?
It's a pretty big subdivision. I'm going to show you where some of the houses, here's how the houses are set up. They're all set up on a pretty big plot of land, and that's the draw to this area. The woods, the trees, and here we go. This is it's right behind that shed. It's burning. But that's why people live here. They live in these houses that are out with a lot of land, a lot of property, and there's quite a few houses in here. And again, it's hard to even see because I've been out here before, but it's hard to tell because how thick and black the smoke is. We can't see where the houses begin and where they end. And that's the scary part. So we've been up flying around, and the firefighters are down on the ground trying to just get in here to attack the fire.
Well, Paul, I know you're going to stay up in Eagle 8 HD for us for a while longer. Again, we have crews on the way to the scene on the ground, trying to get as close as we can to talk to some people and you know, bring this to some sort of you know, understanding for everybody that's taking this in. But this is the Indian Lake Estates area of Polk County.
Right now, breaking news on News Channel 8.
Polk County on fire, flames burning through a neighborhood, forcing people to run for their lives.
As high as it was and as quick, I said it's time to go. We didn't waste no time.
Now all they can do is wait and watch, not knowing if there's anything left of their homes. Right now, we're bringing you live team coverage as firefighters work through the night to extinguish the flames. Good evening, I'm Keith Cate.
I'm Jen Holloway. Thank you for joining us on this Friday evening. And tonight, that fire continues to burn in Polk County's Indian Lake Estates. And there was certainly grim news for those who are living in that area.
Fire officials reporting now multiple homes have been lost, and those forced to evacuate will be out of their homes through the night. And tonight we have team coverage of the Florida on fire. We'll begin with my co-anchor Jen Lee. She's joining us live on the ground in Indian Lake Estates. Jen, tonight we heard the sheriff call this a suspicious fire. You've covered Polk County for years now. Can you recall a fire this intense in such a populated area?
Well, the conditions are certainly very ripe for a fire right now. I have covered fires many times out here in Indian Lake Estates, and what makes this area so ripe for fires is the density. I want to give you some perspective on exactly where we are. Indian Lake Estates is in the farthest reaches of southeast Polk County. We are south of State Road 60 right now. We are east of Highway 27, again, in a densely populated area. They call this urban interface, where the houses are dropped right basically down into the woods. I got to tell you, driving in here from Lakeland, headed east on Highway 60, my photographer and I could see the orange glow of the flames from more than a mile away. A huge plume of black smoke in the darkening sky was very impressive. It was visible for some distance. Back here on the ground, I've got to tell you that it is going to be a sleepless night for many residents. As you mentioned, there are 800 homes in this area that are now under a mandatory evacuation. The sheriff told us just a short time ago that some residents are insisting on staying in their homes. But I want to bring my colleague Avery Cotton in right now, because she's been talking to some of these residents who have had to evacuate, some of the very people who are very worried tonight. What have they been telling you?
Well, as you can imagine, they are sick with worry. They were evacuated here to this area, and all they could do earlier today is just stare at that black cloud that you were just talking about, and they couldn't do anything. But they're also angry because tonight they're pointing fingers. They believe somebody set this fire on purpose. Shocking video shows the seconds this person had to get out of their home as bright orange flames consumed their backyard. It was a scene for hundreds of people in Indian Lake Estates.
My backyard was on fire, and the lot just west of me was on fire.
Robert Deal was one of many who evacuated, only to sit and watch the dark black smoke and wonder what he would go home to. Do you think your house is going to be there?
I don't know. The way the thing was burning and the wind was blowing, it may be burnt partially. I don't know.
It was the thought on everyone's minds.
You don't know if you're going to have a house when you go back in.
Officials say some people will go home to devastation. Several homes were damaged in the blaze.
It's too coincidental.
Many people in the neighborhood believe this is the work of an arsonist.
I'm angry.
They had 3 fires on a Monday, and they had 2 more fires on a Tuesday. Now we had 2 more fires today.
It's really sad that somebody would think, you know, to me, it's the guy's a piece of dirt. Meaning more anything.
The Florida Forest Service isn't ruling out arson. They've launched an investigation and are offering a $5,000 reward. Meanwhile, all everyone can do is wait.
I'm scared about all the stuff.
Hope and pray.
By the grace of God, everything will be taken care of.
So clearly a lot of emotions running extremely high here tonight. Nobody knows what they're going to find when they go home. Again, the sheriff called this suspicious. He didn't call it arson. He called it suspicious, but they are going to investigate.
And they're offering a $5,000 reward for anybody who may know what or who started this fire. So that's an important note there. It's also important to note that we don't know exactly how many structures have been damaged or destroyed in all of this, and that will be very important come morning. So Keith and Jen, we want to send it back to you. We're going to continue to monitor this situation. We'll have more reports for you throughout the newscast.
Fire continues to burn. Thank you so much, Jen Lee, reporting live for us tonight.
Well, as Jen just mentioned, the fire has been burning for many hours now, and it's very, very difficult for firefighters who are working on the front line.
They have been working nonstop to get this fire under control and save as many homes as possible. Chip Wasowski is joining us now. He continues our team coverage from Indian Lake Estates. Chip.
Yeah, a lot of tired firefighters out here. Basically, what you're seeing behind me is ground zero. This is the command post where we've got dozens of firefighters getting ready to go out into the thick of things. We've got rescue crews from Polk County as well as Hillsborough County Mutual Aid out here working to fight this fire. Division of Forestry is basically taking the lead out here as far as fighting the brush fire. What the other crews are doing is basically protecting homes and property. We have a number of different videos and pictures out here from different agencies showing the firefighters in action. It's been a very, very busy day out here. The Division of Forestry alone has 13 bulldozers out here and 7 tanker trucks working to contain this thing. As I'm sure Jen mentioned, it's a huge area out here, a lot of brush, a lot of dry brush, hundreds of homes, hundreds of evacuations. Now, there has been quite a bit of speculation in this area about this fire being started intentionally. I did ask the sheriff about that. He told me that while this fire is still under investigation, if it was intentionally set, that's bad news for someone.
Sheriff, if it's determined that this is arson, it's going to be a bad day for someone in Polk County.
You know, the fact that anyone would put lives and property at risk through a fire is a horrible event. But I can assure you of this. There will be a complete and thorough investigation by the state. We will support them. And if someone is setting these fires, we will find out who they are, and we will put them in jail.